young Black woman, racism is and always will be a challenge that I will have to fight to overcome for the rest of my life. Every day, I am reminded that people around the world are still learning to embrace and accept the qualities that make women of color very unique. I know this because whenever I walk into a movie theater or turn on a television, it's very rare that I see a leading actress or hero who looks like me. Whenever I flip the pages of some of the top fashion and beauty magazines, Black models are often missing. And if we are included, upon closer inspection, we're photoshopped so that our hair is made softer, our skin is made lighter, and our bone structure has drastically changed. But on the drive here today, while thinking about the significance of Black History Month, I also couldn't help but recognize a greater discrimination that affects every single person in this room. You see, most of you will never know what it's like to be a Black female. But interestingly enough, we do share two similarities. We are young, and we are girls. And this double discrimination forces us to inherit challenges that we will face for the rest of our lives.
I thought Pauleanna Reid was a great speaker for our school. She really spoke to the girls at our school. Considering that it is an all-girls school, it really helped and motivated them.
My point is simple. It's not easy being a girl. But through my personal and professional journey, I have learned that we are built for challenge. We are risk takers, and we are 100% responsible for our own lives. Never before in history has there been a greater opportunity for young women like ourselves to shred our stuff. I mean, let me remind you that this is not about being like the boys. This is simply about finding our own niche and becoming an awesome example that other people can follow. But I need to fill you in on a little secret. In order to experience some of the best days of your life, you are going to have to fight through the tough ones. You have to. And just like many of you during my high school years, I was also on the track to figuring it all out. And I constantly felt like I was searching. Searching for my confidence, searching for acceptance from others, searching for my purpose in this world. But my childhood experiences, whether good or bad, have made me the woman I am today. Prior to achieving my dreams, I allowed self-doubt to get the best of me. I approached my teenage years feeling convinced that I was ugly. I had big bushy eyebrows, big dull brown eyes, a broad nose, thick lips, and a boyish figure. I was an athlete who played sports, and I really found it hard to see the beauty in any of my features. High school wasn't that easy either. I was bullied and made fun of for the way I walked, the way I talked, the way I dressed, and who I hung out with. I was alienated and tormented so much that I didn't attend my high school prom or my high school graduation ceremony either. The only places I ever felt safe in this world was when I was eating lunch by myself in either the library, the cafeteria, or quietly in one of the stalls of the girls' washroom. From grade 9 to grade 12, 4 years of my life. I went to bed Monday nights, crying myself to sleep, or I woke up the next day hoping to die because of the drama that followed me around everywhere. But in order to escape from my crazy world, I wrote into a journal every single day. How many of you, by show of hands, like to express yourself creatively, whether through song, dance, writing, drawing, any of that? Awesome, a few of you.
I'm glad that she talked about her past and her past experiences because that really motivated me because I could relate to it a little bit, so I really like that. And I'm interested in reading her book just to see how that parallels with her life.
So I wrote into a journal every day because it was my way of creating a space where I could vent and say whatever I wanted to without any interruptions. And this is when I was the most happiest, when I was by myself, allowing myself to dream big and envisioning better things for my life. And this is when I also realized that this was a career choice that I wanted to explore. You see, while my peers aspired to be princesses, police officers, lawyers, and doctors, I wanted to pursue writing as a career. But I received so much negativity from my friends, my family members, and teachers who often doubted my capabilities and told me I would never make it. To my friends, becoming a writer was not the cool thing to do. To my family members, becoming a writer was not a financially stable career choice, and to my teachers, my grades simply weren't good enough. So needless to say, negativity and lack of support were my first obstacles. And when you have 1,000 no's coming at you all at once, it doesn't exactly inspire you to move forward. So I went to my parents and I told them, hey, I need to take a year off in between high school and college because I need to just figure out my direction. There was so much pressure on me at the time. At this time, I mean, a lot of kids were doing it. We were either improving our grades, taking some time off to save some money, or just wanted to figure out the rest of our lives. They told me straight up no. They said, you're gonna get your little butt in school, you're gonna choose something that would be financially rewarding, and you're going to do this because we said so, and that's it. So I ended up graduating high school feeling very low and confused, and I entered a college program that was not only selected by my parents, but it wasn't a true representation of the type of woman or the type of professional I aspired to be. Question for you. Have you ever experienced sadness that was so intense that it lasted longer than just a few days? Or have you ever felt miserable or so hopeless that you believed your life would never ever get better, it would never improve, or that you were in a situation that you could not control? In 2006, this was me, my freshman year in college. As I continued to pursue a program that I hated, I lacked focus. And I was depressed and I'm constantly feeling anxious. I lacked focus and it showed in my grades, my work ethic, and my attendance. I would often stay in bed for days and days. And I would shut out friends and family. And I was constantly worrying about what the next phase of my life would entail. You see, as depression ate away at me, I didn't tell anybody. I suffered in silence and my condition got worse. Simple tasks that other people took for granted, such as jumping out of bed, brushing my teeth, combing my hair, taking a shower, eating a meal. For me, it was nearly impossible to do. And I often walked into my college classroom feeling a lack of motivation and inspiration, and feeling as if I was trapped and feeling frustrated because all I wanted to do was follow my dreams. Is that such a big problem? I almost feel like adults today, many adults, I mean, they say follow your heart, follow your dreams, and then when you do, they want to tell you, okay, take a few steps back. So at one point in my life, I had had enough, and I turned to suicide and had 2 failed attempts. And when God spared my life on these 2 occasions, I then realized, hey, maybe He does have a purpose for me. Maybe there is a reason why I'm going through what I'm going through. You see, I had had enough of other people and their negativity. And I finally gained the courage to step into my light, gain the confidence I needed to tell myself that this is my life and my dreams are worth it. I want to hear you guys say that. This is my life and my dreams are worth it.
This is my life and my dreams are worth it.
Oh, come on, guys, louder, please. This is my life and my dreams are worth it.
This is my life and my dreams are worth it.
I like your hand on the hip, it's cute. So, moving forward, during exam week of my final year in college, I made a single decision that changed the course of my adulthood. I made a single decision that went against what every adult advised me not to do, and I dropped out of school. I made this decision while looking at my exam paper and just realizing that this is a college program that I hate, and I'm now going to take life into my own hands, and I just want to take a risk and see what happens. I never wanted to be one of those adults that said, what if, or that was miserable with their existence. So I did take a risk. I ripped up my exam paper and I walked out of the classroom and I left it all behind. Was I terrified? Of course I was terrified. I was scared out of my mind. But when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up.
For me, it was inspiring to hear that she did it and she made it and she got where she wanted to be. And I really loved her presentation. It was great.
After quite a few years, through trial and error, I created a winning formula to help point me into the direction of my dreams. And I did 3 key things. Number 1, I allowed passion to be my guide. I started to make happiness a priority because I truly believe that my needs matter, and yours does too. And so I asked myself, right now, this very moment, what do you want the most? And then I started navigating my life and career decisions based on how I wanted to feel. And the objective was to always feel good, because I know that when I feel good, I give my best not only to myself, but I give my best to the rest of the world as well. Number 2, I learned how to turn conversations into leads. I started to delete the negative people from my life, and I replaced them with cool, smart, and interesting people who I could learn from, who could mentor me, who could guide me and support me. I also never hesitated to ask for help when I needed it, and I used social media as a form of expanding my brand and my network and opening new doors for me as well. I had to learn how to say no to distractions and yes to positive actions. So I said no to parties. I said no to peer pressure that had to do with drinking or drugs or any of that nature that would mess me up or cloud my vision. And in doing so, it was that much easier to say yes to positive actions. It was that much easier to wake up every morning because I knew I was on a mission. And by using this formula, I created a space. I positioned myself in the right place so that when my preparation met opportunity, I was ready. I mean, it's one thing to talk about your dreams, but you have to stay inspired. You have to feel passionate, and you have to be driven by a purpose. For me, it was simply a matter of life or death. I mean, I wanted to move forward and felt like my life meant something. So I made every choice reflect that. I shared this story with you today because I really need you guys to understand that anything you love is worth fighting for. Throughout my journey, I have learned how to transition my frustration into motivation. I have learned how to live courageously, and most importantly, I've learned that once you choose hope, anything is possible. And that's why I'm able to stand here before you today as a self-taught, nationally published journalist and businesswoman who literally started with only a number 2 pencil and a dream. I've interviewed celebrities and industry professionals from across the world, and my news reports have been read by several 100,000 people across the country inside the pages of the National Post, the Toronto Star, the Toronto Sun, and the Vancouver Sun. As a motivational speaker, I travel across North America empowering women and girls to become the best version of themselves, and as a mental health advocate, I use various media platforms to spread awareness about depression and anxiety in teens and help them see beyond the limits of their circumstances. But my most proudest accomplishment is my new novel. It's called Everything I Couldn't Tell My Mother, and it's about a girl who experiences tough circumstances just like you and I do every day, and all she wants to feel is loved, accepted, and live her dreams. One of my favorite quotes is by a man named Seth Godin, and he says, instead of wondering when your next vacation is, try creating a life that you don't need to escape from. Ever since leaving my college classroom, I've been on a mission to recreate that happiness that I felt all those years ago in high school when I was writing in my journal every single day. You see, for you, happiness may come from playing sports, or dancing, or giving back to the community. But whatever it is, you need to understand that it's okay to fight for what you love, because that's what makes the world such a beautiful place. It's built by dreamers. Everyone is born with a purpose. Yet some people spend their entire lives searching for this purpose without even realizing that you already possess the tools you need to reach maximum fulfillment. One thing I do know for sure is that no matter what background we come from, no matter what dream we want to pursue, we all have the desire to succeed. The only difference will be how we get there. You see, your journey will not be like my journey. In fact, it will be beautiful and unique in its own way. For the record, I am not encouraging anyone to drop out of school. This was a personal decision that I made because I thought it was the best choice for me at the time, but I've had to work harder than most to get to where I am today. At the core of my message, guys, I really need you to know that you should follow your heart because it will never lead you astray. So I say all of that to say this. You are amongst the fortunate. You are in a position of power and education. So what are you going to do with the opportunities that you currently have at hand? Are you going to ask your teachers for extra help? Are you going to over-deliver on your assignments? Or are you going to finally open up to your parents and tell them how you really feel and what you're really dreaming about? Think about what you really want to accomplish. If you create a game plan, you can get there. But it takes a lot of hard work and self-discipline. It takes a lot of passion. You have to start putting your best foot forward, fine-tuning your mental attitudes. You know why? Because it not only benefits ourselves, but it benefits generations that follow closely behind. So I need you to unlock your intelligence, passion, and greatness every single day, and start looking at obstacles as opportunities. Sitting on your left and sitting on your right is a sister who needs you, is a sister who also has a big dream. I see you guys reaching out to each other, that's cute.
I was standing backstage and just watching her speak, and it's amazing the amount of confidence she has. I kind of aspire to be like her and to have those traits of confidence and following your passions. I thought her presentation was amazing and that it inspired in me to kind of take my position as being a leader and really step up to the plate and follow my heart and do what I think I can do. Just because people say I can't do it, I'm not going to listen to them, just like she said.
In closing, I want to leave you guys with 3 key pieces of advice that I keep close to my heart, and I hope that you will as well. So I'd like you to repeat them after me. Greatness exists in all of us.
Greatness exists in all of us.
Potential will always be noticed.
Potential will always be noticed.
And do one thing a day that scares you.
And do one thing a day that scares you.
Because an amazing life is waiting for you at the end of your comfort zone. You didn't have to repeat that.
Definitely, I want to read her book. It sounds amazing, and I kind of feel like there's so many parts that she was speaking about that I kind of feel similar to, and that I feel the same way and the same emotion. So definitely, I would want to read that book.